Good morning. Today we are making some delicious high protein smoothies without a single bit of protein powder. Instead, we'll be using lots of nutritious plant-based ingredients. And we are making smoothies because it is summer, although looking out the window, it looks like the UK did not get that email and it's stuck in rainy winter mode. Protein powders are really convenient and I definitely use them occasionally. However, they can be overly processed. They can contain additives and sweeteners. They can also give your smoothie a rather sort of grainy texture, and some people's stomachs simply just don't tolerate them. So today I've got for you a few different delicious smoothies using mostly whole food ingredients so that you get extra nutrients as well as the protein. This first smoothie is probably the one I make the most. It's a chocolate peanut butter smoothie, and we're going to be using tofu to give it a really good protein boost, and I promise you won't taste that protein at all. This smoothie comes in at around 30 grams of protein, so it's great for a breakfast or post-workout. First to go in is just some water. You could use plant-based milk, but personally the tofu makes it creamy enough for me. Next up, the tofu with its high protein, but also healthy unsaturated fats. I'm using firm tofu. You could also use silken tofu. And I'm sure if you blended it enough, you could even use extra firm. Then we'll go in with one banana to give it a bit of sweetness and also help with that creamy texture. You're welcome to use frozen banana if you wanted to, or just leave it out. As well as the peanut butter, I like to add some walnuts for their healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Now you might not think of chocolate as being a health food, but cocoa powder is high in copper, iron, magnesium, and potassium. It's also nearly 25% protein. Of course, if you're eating dairy milk or Galaxy chocolate bars, which are mostly just milk and fat, and in fact, I don't think they're actually allowed to be called chocolate bars anymore because they don't contain enough cocoa powder. They're not particularly healthy, but if you get yourself a good quality cocoa powder, add it into your smoothies, it has some great health benefits. I like it really chocolatey, so I've got about 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder going in. And then of course, we're going to go in with the peanut butter. I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons. We literally buy peanut butter 6 kilos at a time, and it just goes so quickly. We all love it here. Depending on how sweet you like your smoothies, you might want to add some dates or raisins for a little extra sweetness. I'm just going to add 2 dates here. Dates are also high in dietary fiber, magnesium, copper, and potassium. And then finally, we're just going to add some ice cubes. And actually a small pinch of salt just really brings out those chocolatey and peanut buttery flavors. And that is ready to blend. Just do a little light dusting of cocoa powder over the top, or some grated chocolate if you're feeling fancy. Let's give this a taste. So chocolatey. I found that if you chocolate nibs and put them on top, they're really lovely and bitter and crunchy. But this is just my absolute favorite smoothie. I've been drinking it for a few years now and it always hits the spot. Creamy, chocolatey, you've got the lovely nutty peanut butter. What's not to like? And you get your chocolate fix, but in a healthy way. This next smoothie is the classic combination of cherry and almond. We'll be using almond butter and some white beans to give it a protein boost, and it comes in at around 18 grams of protein. We'll start off with some soy milk. This is probably the highest protein plant-based milk. You can get pea milk, but I don't think it tastes particularly nice. Then we've got the frozen cherries, very high in vitamin C, potassium, and antioxidants. I like to add some raspberries as well. Cherries are quite tart, and then raspberries add a nice sweetness. Just adding a few white beans, don't want to go too crazy with them so that it doesn't actually taste of them. I find white beans to be the least flavorful. You could use chickpeas, but I think they're a bit stronger in flavor. A couple tablespoons of almond butter. Almonds and cherries are just a classic combination. So is almond and raspberry actually, so this is just this smoothie just works perfectly. And then just a couple dates for sweetness. And a small, tiny pinch of salt. And once again, we'll add in some ice cubes. And that is ready to blend. You could also add some almond essence if you wanted to, or vanilla essence could be really nice. I'm going to sprinkle on a little frozen raspberries to finish this off. And I've just got some toasted almonds here, flaked almonds. And there you have another delicious high protein smoothie. Oh, that's good. Really lovely. This one may not be the prettiest of colors, but it is so delicious. It's sweet, it's tart, and then you get a lovely almondy nuttiness in the background. Finally, we're making a mango, lime, and coconut smoothie, and we'll be giving it the protein boost with a selection of seeds, but also some soy yogurt, and it comes in at around 25 grams of protein. For this smoothie, we're actually doing double soy. I'm using some soy milk and some soy yogurt. You're welcome to use another plant-based milk if you don't want to use soy. It just won't be quite as high protein. Then of course our frozen mango. You could use coconut milk if you wanted to, that would work quite well with the tropical theme. Next we'll zest in about half a lime. Give this smoothie a lovely freshness and zing. And the juice of the lime as well. Optionally, you can add one banana. I just like the texture that it gives the smoothie. Adds a little extra creaminess. Then we're going for 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, high in protein and omega-3 fatty acids, and the same quantity of hemp seeds. And that's it, really nice and simple. Small pinch of salt again. Just brings out all those flavors, and we'll get that blended up. And we'll top this one with a little desiccated coconut and some extra lime zest. And that is the final smoothie. Let's give it a go. Okay, now for some tropical vibes. Coconut's getting stuck on my lips. This one is definitely the creamiest of the three, so if you're into that, then this is the one for you. But if not, you could make it less creamy by not adding the banana or just using water instead of the soy milk. But of course, that will reduce the protein content. I would definitely add the lime juice and the zest, as it just sort of cuts through that creaminess and adds a really nice freshness to this smoothie. Thank you so much for watching. Now that you've got your healthy smoothie, why not check out these healthy salads?